rapping for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I am your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modified. And today, we got the special hostess with the mostest,
Frankie.
Modified Frankie. And we got a couple topics we're going to talk about. So I want to try something new. I want to get in within the first 60 seconds of what we're going to be going over in this podcast, right? So this podcast, if you already know, you already seen the title, right? 3 habits we need to break starting today. Yes, we are organized 2024, right? So we're going to go over letting things go. Don't control only what you eat, but control what you consume mentally, right? And stop living life to impress other people and worry about impressing the person in the mirror. These are 3 habits topics that came up that were on Zoom calls, and I thought they'd be good to go over. But before we get into all those amazing topics, I want to say shout out to everyone that's listening right now. Thank you so much. Without your guys' support, we wouldn't be here where we're at today. Honestly, whether it be from social media or our podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like our podcast is growing every single day, every single podcast, and it's thanks to all of you. Also, want to shout out to everyone that's watches on YouTube on video form. Well, they're both on video form, but thank you so much. If we bring any type of value, make you laugh, cry, smile, giggle, or you just hate us, feel free to comment and follow and subscribe. You know, it really means a lot, though, and especially the comments. We do get a couple comments on our YouTube, and some on Spotify too. You actually leave comments on how the podcast was. It means a lot. It keeps us going, and also too, if you have any ideas, there's some topics you would love to hear us talk about. Whether it be a solo podcast or me and Modified get in and just dive into, you know, something maybe we've been through, going through, or went through, and how we got through it would be amazing, right? This podcast is meant for you and only you.
Yep.
Right? Anyways, before we continue to keep going into these 3 habits we need to break, we had a pretty eventful week last week, and we couldn't even talk about it.
Eventful start of the year.
Modified Frankie was on Flex Lewis's podcast. I was a +1.
Some light.
So she's been letting me know that she is an influencer now. I don't know what I am anymore, honestly. I'm just stay-at-home boyfriend. How did it feel? How empowering was that for you?
I was freaking out, low key.
Yeah, you I couldn't even tell. You
Can
were
I
just
paint
natural.
you the picture of what was going through my mind?
Paint it.
So I've been with you to a lot of different important meetings, podcasts, everything, right? And I know my role. Usually I say hi to everyone, have a few minutes of interaction, then I go to my corner.
Boss lady.
And let you do your thing.
Boss lady.
And that's kind of the flow of, you know, what I went into. And mind you, like bodybuilding and like gym stuff, that's not my world, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't realize like how big and important that person was in that moment.
Yeah.
And he was very welcoming.
His accent is sick.
Mm-hmm. So again, I was going in my mind. I always go on autopilot. I'm like, say hi, niceties, and everything, and then I go to the back, and then we were just going back and forth with Flex. And at the moment, I didn't know it was his wife, or I didn't pick up on it. And we were just talking about how he's like, "Oh, you lost weight too," and I said, "Yeah." And then he was asking me questions, and I was honest with him. I was like, "Listen, I just want the aesthetics out of it. Like, I don't have a love for what you guys do, like for myself, right?"
Yeah, like in
respect
bodybuilding,
100%. Like it's amazing. I'm like, that's not me. I just want the aesthetics because, you know, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And they were vibing with that. And he's like, "Oh, you know, we should have you on the podcast too." And I'm just like, yeah. Didn't think anything of it. And then I'm sitting in the back, and then out of nowhere, like his team starts like putting up a mic and putting up cameras and all these things. And I'm like, oh no, it's, you know, he's filming. And he just like, the guy winks at me and he's like, "You're on there too." And I'm like, no. I'm like, for what?
I don't know. Maybe you've lost 130 pounds and you've also helped build the Heavy to Modified brand. You're a very big part of that. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That you walked in like a boss lady.
Well, I mean, yes, I'm a boss, but like I'm saying, like in that field, like.
Well, you know, it's so much respect bodybuilders give transformations because they know how difficult it is to get on stage without having to lose weight. Obviously, you need to gain muscle and get lean and all that. And they see it in a whole nother light compared to some people who, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying, and I don't know how to really put that into words because at the end of the day, we all worked hard to get on there. Now, I never considered myself a bodybuilder, but Flex Lewis considers me a bodybuilder, and I take that with respect, and that means a lot. But at the end of the day, I know how much hard work I had to put on there. I'm not saying I had to work any harder than someone, because let's be honest, I'm happy no one got to over 600 pounds and to had to lose all that weight in order to step on a stage if that was ever a goal, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you're on there, though, is because, you know, he got to conversate of how we talk and how we interact, and they shared stuff about how they started their podcast. Now, this guy has been doing this for years. Right. And they were knocking down their podcast and sending it back up and stuff like that. And we do the same thing. So for those you may not know or cannot tell, if you can tell, we shoot this in our living room. Right. So once we're done shooting, this has to go back away because we want to have a clean living room and a clean space. This is where we live. But, you know, one of those things where it was really refreshing to know that, like, we're doing the right thing. Like, even though we have the podcast, it's still a struggle. We don't have a podcast studio. We have a we have a podcast.
Yeah.
And it just kind of was nice and refreshing to know that we're taking the right steps. Now they're 10, 15 years ahead of us. Right. And also I believe he's a lot older than us too. But it's like, at least I know we're doing the right steps in our early 30s that are going to allow us to be more successful in our early 40s.
We're following the right footsteps, because the people that are more successful than us, we're noticing that the things that they did years ago, we're already implementing now. But I do want to also go back to like how I was feeling, because like, instinctively, always, you know, my mind goes to like, I don't deserve to be here. I want to hide a little bit. Syndrome. Yes. And then I said, I can't do that to you, right? No. So I'm like, well, I hope I don't tank. And it was a really good experience. But then after we were done, and again, that's not my world, so I don't know it, right? Like with the bodybuilding stuff. I thought we were going to leave right away, but he, you know, started chit-chatting with us, and then also like his crew and all that. And I was walking around, that was one of the gifts that he gave us. And I ended up seeing his podcast calendar and like all of like the people he has lined up. And I won't name drop because it's tacky.
The fact that we were on a podcast with those names on there.
Yes.
They're normal human beings, right?
But these are people that we are paying pay-per-view to watch them on TV, and I had a little pocket of time in that same space. And I'm like, how?
You know what? Just work hard, right? We'll just work hard, right? And how we're going to start working hard is this. We're going to focus on these 3 habits. Ooh. Right? Way to swoosh us. Way to alley-oop us into the slam dunkers.
Man, that was
right?
Funny.
That was it. You know, I'm learning. I seen, you know what? I seen what Flex does and how he maneuvers his way through his podcast, and it's so fly, and I like that. One thing I'm disappointed in myself is that we're supposed to be having this iPad connected so you can see when we bring up the Instagram and stuff like that. Learn that from Flex. Shout out to you. But I don't know what happened, but next time I will have that. So if we ever have someone on here want to show their photos before and after, stuff like that, we're just getting more organized. In order to have a successful long-term podcast or business or brand, you have to be prepared for the masses. That's what we're preparing for now. Right now, we're at 200, 300, 400, 500 subscribers. Or no, actually, we're at 16,000 on YouTube, right? But we're on like 400 or 200 on Spotify, right? I want to be ready for 10,000. I want to be ready for 100,000, right? So the more organized we are now and the better structure we have in our podcast, the more people are going to view, the more people are going to say we take time in this. And it's not just something we sit down, talk, and post it and just pray that something good happens out of it, you know? Yeah. So we might be more organized. So I'm really disappointed in myself for that one. So call myself out. But anyways, alley-ooping to the first one. Letting things go. This is a conversation that I had today with one of my clients, and this was this is what sparked up this whole podcast. Yeah. Now we can have a whole podcast on letting things go, but I feel like we're just going to focus on these 3 habits that's going to help us become better human beings, right? And when I say help us become better human beings, I'm talking about us as in you, not the people around you. Let's focus on you before you start pouring into other people, because the only way you could lead is by the front. Only way you can lead is by example. So the change starts with you, and it'll pour into other people over time. But right now, let's focus on you and only you. Now, I feel like this is a very big habit that we all have, and I don't know, like, what do you think about this? Like letting things go. Like, I know what I want to say because I just had the call with her like 2 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. So I'm already on the topic of this one. But like for you, like kind of like, you know, what are some experience of like you not letting some stuff go and what you've realized and what you've learned from that?
I think letting things go is extremely important because you end up being stuck in like a victim mentality of like, even if say in whatever situations, like for me, it was a lot of like childhood trauma, right? And I would let that hold me back, and I would hold a lot of resentment, and it would hold me back in things that I didn't even think would even be like, I don't know the word, like part of the equation in a way.
Just like you were had it in a negative headspace.
Yeah,
being
because
raised,
like I
it
would
felt like
be
it was everywhere.
bitter about someone. It would lead to me bitter about something, and then everything, and then my existence.
Okay.
Because I'm like, poor me, and it was poor me, but it's like, okay, well, it was unfair what I went through as a child, but am I just gonna
What are you
harp
gonna do now?
over it, or
That's it.
am I gonna change shit? And I mean, doesn't mean that those bad things didn't happen to me, but what am I gonna do now?
Yeah. Well, like one of those things where it's like understanding that letting it go is understanding that there's nothing you can do to fix it. You can only go moving forward.
Yeah.
Right. And something that we kind of hold so deep into our hearts where we let it affect our future selves, right, is it old school trauma, old things that have happened to us. Now, those feelings are 100% valid. Right. If you had a rough childhood, if your mother, your dad treated you a certain way, or grandparents, or someone made fun of you and you remember like it was yesterday, I have those too. But are you going to let that situation control your whole life and always run back to, well, I'm not successful because this happened when I was 9?
Mm-hmm. And you keep giving
and
power
you
to
keep
those
giving
things.
power to that person who once made you feel so powerless, where now you just live this whole life of just stagnant because you always go back to that past trauma.
And it leads to you just being bitter about life, and then your world becomes so small
Yeah, because you
can't see outside of that.
Well, you created a glass.
True.
You created a glass that you have a glass ceiling that you feel you can't pass, but like you created it. Now, the situation, right, no matter how traumatic it is always going to be your situation, something that's happened to you, something that's part of your story. Right? But you have the pen to continue to write the next chapter.
Yep, there's more chapters.
Right? There's more chapters to your book. Right? Now, I could sit here and say, oh, growing up, I didn't have a father figure. I didn't have a dad in my life. Right? That's one way to look at it and be that sad mentality. But I also could say at the same time, I grew up not having a dad in my life, but I had amazing grandpas and uncles and people that loved me and took me to play baseball and went to my games and supported me. But you're going to harp over the one thing of not having a father figure in your life, a dad, not having a dad in your life. I mean, a dad is more than just someone, just a male figure in your life.
And that's just one example.
That's just one example. There's so many different things we could go back to, right? I know I've talked to people that, talking about they can't get on the scale because they have eating disorder because they're parents. And I get that. Your feelings are 100% valid, but how long are you going to let that control you to where you can't keep on working to become better? Right? You hold on to that stuff so deep, and the people that caused it to you probably forgot about it.
Yeah, it's not even a thought.
They don't
and
even remember.
If anything, don't you dare bring it up, because how dare you?
How dare you bring it up? I did the best I could do. You don't understand how difficult it was.
I did the best with what
You're
I
never
had.
You're never truly gonna get the answer you want of maybe I'm sorry.
You're not gonna get accountability.
No. If they have
don't search for it.
And don't search for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't search for it, because at the end of the day, it's their loss. If they're a screwed up person, be happy you're not like them.
And just picture how miserable they must be. And honestly, like, it makes me feel like a little bit sad for said person, because like, how messed up do you have to be to pour like bad energy into other people that were innocent?
Miserable. I know, because I was miserable before.
Same.
I know misery loves company, right? And so one of the biggest key factors I want to lead off into is, as we go into our next topic, right, is it this: we all have things that we hold deep into our heart that are affecting us right now, right? Childhood trauma, whatever it might be. But it is now your obligation today, moving forward, to stop letting that control the next chapters of your life. Stop going back to that negative day in your life, that negative time in your life, that bad situation, right? You didn't stop going back to that negative headspace, and understand that, yes, that's part of your story, but that's not the end of your story.
And you're
that
the
may
author.
be the end
You
of your
control it.
chapter, right? That may be the end of your chapter, but that is not the end of your story. That is not the end of the book. There's still plenty of verses and the pages to write through, right? So take this situation that you're in today, right, the person you are today, and build moving forward. And it's never going to happen unless you start letting things go and understanding that the past is always going to be your past, but you can control the future and the things you do moving forward today. One of the reasons why I became a life coach and not a therapist.
Yep.
We just got a therapist on the program. It's really cool. She's really cool.
Really?
I'm excited to learn from her too, because like I want to know like how our Zoom calls are compared to how she does it. Like she's like, yeah, they're pretty similar. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I want to learn. That's cool.
That's nice.
That was really cool, right? Next one, the good old social medias. The good old social medias. And okay, I got to be honest, everyone. You know why I came up with this topic?
Tell me.
Because of you.
Me?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, nothing really. You haven't really said anything, but it's more of like I've been listening to what you listen to on your free time, and I get it's your free time, so I'm just judging. And it bothers me because it's so much drama, so much negative. Like it's to the like I don't like I've been on fire this last couple of days. Like I've been putting my foot in your butt and Big John's butt, my own butt. Let me say about my own self first, because I do that too.
Yeah.
I call myself out also. And again, like when I hear that you listen to things, it like bothers me so much. But like, it's a personal thing because like you are who you are and you're a good person, even what you pour into. But I know after a while you start listening to like a lot of the gossip and a lot of the negative and a lot of the hate conversations and a lot of the chisme. And I know you start like getting real spicy. So I know what's going to come soon.
I hear you, right? And I understand, but I'm able to now gauge how much I can take.
I respect that.
The thing is also for me personally, my entire, like, as soon as I wake up till I go to sleep, it's self-development, business. Sometimes I just need like mindless stuff.
I get that, but how I look at it is like you do good all day with focus on who Francine wants to be, right? Like you go to this is how I kind of paint a picture in my head right now, right? Once again, this is a me thing. Yeah. But I'm just explaining how I look at it. Right? Is that you wake up, you do what you need to do to be on a weight loss journey. You go do cardio, you eat clean, you track your food, right? And then at the end of the day, once you did everything good, you go to McDonald's and you go fucking indulge.
I get
like,
you.
You get what I'm saying? Like I feel like all the positive you did, and then you end your day with that. But like that's just painting my picture, right? Yeah. And so what led into the topic is that don't only control what you feed your body, but control what you feed your mental. Because that's a very big thing that we don't understand. These guys out here are listening to these podcasts and these 20-second clips of disrespecting women, vice versa. These girls are listening to these podcasts and men ain't shit.
City
This and that. City girls up. Get out there, make your bag, throw it back for a real one. Coochie pink, but the booty hole, you know what I mean? But it's like, man, the people that are feeding vibes, right? Yeah, I'm over here about to start rapping. But like the people that are feeding this to you are miserable, are broken. Like these people are broken. Like and I'm looking, I am not perfect. I've clearly came out and said I stopped following IG girls on Instagram and stuff like that because I wanted this year I'm controlling more than what I controlled last year. Right? And I'm not saying that guys won't be guys and girls won't be girls. True. Right. But what I'm saying is that if you are on a path of self-development, you have no time to be watching girls or watching guys throw it back for a real one. Like you got to keep it pure for yourself. You know what I mean? And like I'm just speaking, right?
I have a ratchet heart, so Francine, this one's not hitting me.
If it was up to Francine, this podcast for you, then this is for you. This chapter is for you right here. Okay. You know, if it was up to Francine, she would wear Timberlands and freaking hoop earrings to have her name in him. Like honestly,
no,
right? Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like, but like we have this stuff, and we're so conscious of what we're tracking in our food diary or in our first form map. Let me know if you need a link. we're not tracking what we were taking in. Like I want to be a successful businessman. I want to help as many people as I can the right way. Right? That is my biggest goal and my biggest fear to not stay true to is I want to stay the right way. Whether I'm making $50 a week or I'm making $50,000 a week. Yeah. And people see that I'm doing the right thing. So I need to maintain that. So I want to continue to follow people that I feel that are doing this weight loss stuff, the online coaching, the real training, the real life coaching the right way. I'm not going to follow a whole bunch of people that are scamming people out this cookie cutter stuff. Like I'm not going to follow these people that are like, oh, women ain't shit and blah, 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 blah. Like I don't want to be fed that because I need to protect my mental because no one's going to protect it for me.
True.
You know, so that's just how I look at this stuff. And when people are constantly not controlling what they're taking in, they're constantly looking at naked women, naked men, some of the music that we listen to, which I get it. I'm bad for that one because I gotta say, when I work out, I don't care if I want bitch shit, rap, I like it. But outside of that, I listen to podcasts. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I just know that how consuming social media could be and how much time we're taking away from becoming better because we're so focused on the ratchet stuff that we see online. And we're getting our relationship advice from people that are divorced and unhappy. That's crazy. I would not take financial advice from someone who is homeless. So why are you taking relationship advice from someone that's broken? Damn, you just ruined that.
I did?
You're fired. I was on it and you just ruined that.
Dang.
Wow. Like I said again, let me say it one more time.
Yeah, run it back.
Because Frankie wants to talk now. She's up now.
Yeah.
I said, why would you take relationship advice from someone that is broken? Mentally. Like, it's insane. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree 100%.
We gotta now you don't want to talk?
Yeah.
You cut me off from just having one of the sickest, firiest clips that could have went viral. And now she's over here mute.
Now he's pissed.
Now, yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. I dropped the bar and you dropped the ball. No, but talk to him. You don't have to speak from a male perspective, but like from a female, like what do you when you're consuming this stuff?
So primarily,
you know what? She can't say nothing because she consumes it.
I do.
Uh-oh.
However,
we'll
primarily I consume things that are gonna, for me personally, that are gonna benefit our business somehow. And how you mentioned like, oh, like I don't follow scammers, blah, blah. I go in waves, right? I follow it all in waves because I want to see, even though you're doing a bad thing, I want to see what's working for you so I can figure out the right way to apply it over here.
Oh, yeah.
And like the drama stuff that I watch, sometimes I just need like the 30 minutes of just ratchetness. But I also pick up on, why are we so engaged with this? Like, what is it? Is it the way that this person's telling the story? Because then I can apply it to something with us, right?
Yeah.
Because I
like how to flip the
so I do consume it, but then I'm also like pinpointing, I'm like, this is why I'm interested in this particular person.
Because it's drama.
Yes, but anyone could give you drama, but like it's the way that someone tells you that story that's gonna be, ooh, it's juicy.
Hi, I'm drama.
Hi, dramatic.
I'm the red flag.
But I do think it's really healthy to primarily focus on following and feeding your mind like what's gonna better you and whatever you are trying to work on. Like right now, I follow a lot of people that are a lot of self-development, but in a different realm, because I get a lot of the weight loss stuff from you. I don't need another guru.
Chill. You call me a guru?
Yeah.
I find it disrespectful.
So I find
I'm just heavy too modified.
Like women's self-development, because I want to work on that for myself, right?
Yeah.
And also like something that we hold high is like keeping our space clean, like people that hacks on like keeping certain things clean, using less chemicals, things like that.
I was gonna say, I've been liking like how people condense a lot of things.
Yeah.
I've been liking that lately because you just did the cupboard and it looks amazing. It's like very little stuff you got rid of, but everything looks perfect.
It belongs.
It just belongs there. So I like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, and then it gets into this too. So now we're over here going on the whole social media rant when we're also forgetting that we live life day to day with people in our circle that just are so negative and just drag us down. Right? And you have to be conscious with that. Like you right now, let me tell you, you're a special person listening to this podcast. And let me tell you why without trying to blow smoke up your ass. People right now that are not listening to this podcast are listening to things that are not going to make them a better person. Right? You are listening to two people that have lost 350 pounds, 130 something pounds, right? People that have been through a relationship, understand drama. We've made it through, grown a business into a 6-figure business. You are listening to people share their stories in ways that you could become better because we've followed this program instead of listening to rap or the latest football game drama, this and that, Kim Kardashian, Will Smith and Jada, whatever it is. Like you're a special person. Like you're a special person listening to this because this is what successful people do. And I'm not saying you're a special person because you're listening to our podcast. We're blessed for you to listen to it, but I would think you're just as special listening to anyone else's self-development podcast that's going to make you better. So you're special. You stand out from the 95%.
Because you want more.
Because you want more for yourself. I don't think you want to hear me rap on here. 'Cause I'll start though.
Do it.
No, I'm just kidding. You know what I mean? So you're special. So take a little bit of these conversations from our podcast, other people you follow, and go out there and utilize it. 1% of that. Go implement that. Right. And when you start implementing that stuff, you're going to see that what we're talking about is 100. We're not saying anything different than the people that are millionaires that have podcasts. We're just started later than them. We have a lot more work to put in.
Yep.
But I'll tell you right now, the people who you surround yourself with is who you start becoming over time.
It's so important.
It's just like what grandparents would say, show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are. Right? So you need to focus on surrounding yourself around people that want to do better. They don't have to be rich now. They don't have to be mentally rich.
Yeah.
They don't have to be physically rich. They don't have to be financially rich. I'm talking about that are going to get there, that have set goals, that have aspirations, that things they want to accomplish.
And they're applying it.
They're applying it. They're not talking about it. They're not that
being
friend in
about
the
it.
club like, hey, what up, big dog? Remember in high school? Oh, damn, man, we were partying at this black man.
Let's pop $50 for a bottle.
You peaked in high school, my boy. You don't want to be that person that peaks in high school. I don't ever want to be the person that's like, oh, man, remember high school? Yeah, we used to live it up, man. And now you're freaking over here with a beer belly and still living with your parents. I don't know. You don't want to be that person. And those people that peaked in high school, they're not doing what you're doing right now.
Preach.
That's why you're special, because you're choosing to become better. It doesn't matter how old you are. I just had a 53-year-old join my program. I'm excited. You always can become
cool.
better. She's cool. As
I
hell.
like her.
I like her accent. Right. Well, to us it's an accent. Her just speaking whatever it
We
is.
probably have an accent
Right.
here.
Right. And then we're just alley-ooping, slam dunking into things.
Yep.
Right. Straight into, why do we do this? Like what is our point of working so hard? What is the point of building the physique that you want, getting the money you want, driving the car that you want? Because if it's to impress other people, then don't fight for it, because they ain't gonna make you happy. Right?
It won't
Stop
be long-lasting.
living to impress others and focus on impressing that person in the mirror. Habit number 1, let things go. Habit number 2, stop only controlling what you put in your body and control what you put in your mental. Habit number 3, stop living to impress other people and focus on impressing the person in the mirror, right? And that is something I feel like all these are not even in order. They're just not even a straight line.
Yeah.
Right? These are all
They're
things
all
we need to
equally
take.
important.
Equally important
Yeah.
with these things, right? Because think about it. It goes back into my solo podcast of who are you? Right? And how many times have you done things in your life that was for the satisfaction of others? Right?
Yep.
How many times?
Or to appease someone
Or
else.
to appease someone, or make sure they're not mad at you.
They think
Or
you're
they think you're-
amazing, Or
exactly.
that you're more important, or you're. I struggle with that so much that it just
Talk about
until
it.
the recent last couple years that I've been able to really let that go, and it kind of goes back to
Hold on.
also
How'd you let it go?
honestly a lot of your help.
HeavyToModify.com. I'm just kidding. No. How'd you let it go?
I let go of a lot of people, and which was really hard. It was hard because there is instinctively the feeling of I'm going to be lonely. And is it better misery loves company than to be lonely? You know?
So you had to sacrifice if it was worth to be miserable but to have friends than to have no friends and
Yeah.
not be miserable.
Yeah, and I was never like a
that's good,
pushover,
Frankie.
really.
Wow.
But it's like a dang, like, is it just going to be me?
Were you thinking about breaking up with me?
No, I'm saying
Oh,
yes.
I was like, well, this went for a
This
turn.
is our breakup podcast.
I know, right? Calls the Ace family.
Oh,
Too soon. Over here talking
Our
about
kid
drama.
gets our
Over here
podcast.
talking about I don't listen to drama yet. I know. No, it's from you listening. I heard that.
But
like
you knew
that.
who it was.
Nah, because you heard the vote. I heard. Okay, whatever. We're not talking about me
Yeah.
today. No accountability 2024.
None.
None.
Okay. So it was a scary thought. So it's, you know how you say like ripping the Band-Aid, you're like, like, should I?
Is the scab going to come off?
Yeah.
You ain't the
But
scab
honestly,
yet.
it's been so rewarding
Yeah?
because I've been able to open up my world to different a different type of friendship that doesn't require so much watering. Like, you know,
Well,
you guys water everyone.
Well, the friends you have now, it's like you guys both grow. Like, it's like,
and I feel like
they have a water, like they have a
equal value.
Yeah, it's like you have a water jug, they have a water jug, and you guys just talking, just pouring on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? And like those are amazing. Those are amazing friendships where it's not one sided.
Yeah, and it's like I don't feel like we have to go to the bathroom together. You can't tie your shoe. Let me tie your shoe for you. Like I'm not that girl.
Yeah, it's more of a friendship, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're so focused on impressing the next person, we forget that, like, the true form of happiness is looking at yourself in the mirror and being happy at what's looking back.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about being happy about what's looking back is that you don't have to be at your final form yet. You just have to be in the works of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's why, let me paint a picture for you. The reason why you feel so amped up and happy off that first week of weight loss is because all the work you put in that 7 days and you see that weight change.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel happy, you feel good, you feel motivated, right?
Yep.
But what happens when you have a bad week? You don't feel motivated. You don't feel happy. You don't feel secure. Well, isn't that safe to say then you could build your own happiness by just doing the right thing?
Yep.
Because the right thing is to what? Follow your plan, track your food, work, have some type of activity, 30 to 45 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week. Right? Stay true to who you want to be.
It's
so
just easier
staying
to say
true to
we're
you.
Lazy. It's easier to be lazy.
Oh, 100%. Oh, dang, we got alarms going off. Oops, sorry, we're back. But yeah, we're so focused on impressing everyone around us because we want to be liked that we forget to impress ourselves. And painting that picture once again before my alarm went off is that we create our own happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I wake up in the mirror, right, and I look at the mirror and I see all the loose skin. I'm not in my final form yet, but I'm way happier knowing that I'm doing the right things to become the best version of myself than when I was over 600 pounds and I knew I was. Now, say it wasn't 600 pounds. Say my rock bottom was 280 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would still be unhappy with myself equally as I was at over 600 because either way, I wasn't doing the right things.
Yep.
So the only time you're going to be happy with your true self is if you do the things that you're supposed to do, not the things that your mom needs you to do every single week. Or your friends need you to do, or going out every single week to appease them and be the fun person, right? What does everyone like to be? The fun, fat person.
I'm not anyone's clown.
I'm not anyone's clown. I wore enough makeup and enough masks for my entire life. I'm done. I'm good, right? So it's like, let's stop now. Let's stop that. Let's break that habit. Go 7 days with doing what you need to do.
And what you want to do.
What you should do.
Mm-hmm.
What you could do. Pikachu. I should have an energy drink. I messed up. Spitting bars over here. But no, it's just that real thing is like you're so worried about impressing other people around you that you stop impressing yourself. And when you stop impressing yourself, you stop becoming who you truly want to be. And when you stop becoming who you truly want to be, then who are you waking up as? Not who? Someone else?
Not yourself.
Not yourself.
Because you're not living for yourself at that point.
No, because you want other people like you. Want to post that thing that's going to get people like, or post that one clip or that one story that's going to be like, oh, well, she's back out traveling again. I know people that post old traveling videos when they're not even they're at home.
That's crazy. I barely even post when I'm doing something cool.
You don't post enough. What you mean? It's like, well, like, what does that do? Like, who are you trying to? Who are you trying to impress? Because obviously there's something deep down in your soul where you're not happy, so you have to have other people like your stuff so you feel happy.
That's kind of interesting because even like, say if I post something, right? There is some dopamine in there when you get likes.
100%.
But then if you're living for that.
Bad. And I will speak from experience.
Yeah?
Bad. Well, think about it. I am just now Anthony Lopez with a podcast that has been through the experience over the last 5 years. So we're going to look back at this podcast and I'm going to be better than I was 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. In 10 years, technically, from 5 years from now, I'll be completed 10 years, right? So remember, I've been my whole entire life, I've been trying to impress everybody. And I'm not saying I don't have real friends because I have friends from elementary school that I'm still friends with. Don't care how many followers I have. Like they are my boys. Like it is my family, guys and girls. You know, my best friend, one of my best friends is a female, right? So one of these things is that, so I'm not saying I don't have friends. What I'm talking about is this. I spent my whole life trying to be the cool, funny, fat guy, right? Trying to impress the wrong people in the wrong crowd. If you notice, I only have a select few friends for life. You know what I mean? But those friends are family. I don't even know if I even put them as best friends. Like they're family. Like they know my grandparents. They know my girl. They know my like
Show up
family.
to gender reveals.
Show up to gender reveals. Like you get what I'm saying? Like this is family stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm talking about the other people I was trying to impress. I was trying to impress the wrong people. Right? I was trying to impress those people, the cool crowd, right? The
That you
people
don't
that
even know.
don't even really even know them. And now I don't like. Now I see what they're doing. They're doing the same thing. So I'm
Yeah.
like, why? Who was I trying to impress? Right. And that's like what it is when we do on social media. Like we're trying to impress Tom and Steve and Jessica, but Tom and Steve and Jessica are all in debt. They just put their last travels on a credit card that they didn't pay the last one off. They're paying the minimum. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are the people that were, and those are random names too. People are listening like, damn, you know, those are all, this is whatever came to my head.
I know a lot of people with big followings, and I am not going to compete with the life that's sponsored. No shade though.
Well,
These
I'm trying to live
sponsors
like you though. Your sponsored life.
Period.
I'm trying to wake up at 10 in the morning, roll out of bed,
Good stuff.
morning breath, got hair on the upper lip,
And
on the chinny chin. No, but sometimes I feel it's like we get to like this very impactful moment, and then we just like bring in like just our
Sorry,
normal
guys.
personality too. But I like it.
We're
I like
trash
it
too.
No, I think it's cool because like it's serious conversation, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like we want to be happy learning.
It's life.
It's life, you know what I mean? It's understanding
Yeah.
that though. But you know what I mean? And we personally, like I said, growing up though, I was trying to impress everybody. Right? I really wanted to impress people. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be the fat, funny guy. Actually, I wanted to be so funny they didn't know I was fat. More like I don't know, like maybe if I just, was funny enough, people were like, oh my gosh, he's blurred out. The guy's skinny, And so like I realized that just does not make a happy human being.
It was your filter?
If I was happy, my goal wouldn't have been to lose weight my whole entire life. Right? Like if I'm happy with my body now, then I would never want to lose weight or put another muscle on, but I want to keep getting better. I'm not saying I love my body now. I love it way better than with 600 pounds, right? Especially the way I feel I earned it.
Yeah.
But I'm not happy because I'm not complete yet. But if I was happy being overweight and a funny guy, then I would never want to lose weight. But I did want to lose weight, so that means I wasn't happy. I just wasn't really putting the work.
Yeah.
Right? And so trying to impress other people didn't help that out.
I think once I stopped trying to impress, and I wasn't like advertently trying to impress, like I want to impress everyone. Like I'm not a show pony, right? But there is a level of that always. But once I like really decided like I'm not doing anything for show.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't really grow my social media, but that's besides the point. But when I really stopped doing that, doors opened up. The right eyes were on me.
Yeah, like the people that were also living their life for them. Right?
Like even that girl, I think it's hopefully we could link her. The girl who did your teeth whitening.
I can't pronounce that name. But look at this smile. Look at Look at that. Light up the room. I love this smile. I'm so much more confident because of getting that done. I wish I would have got it earlier, but yeah, that's a whole nother thing. We go on podcast of hygiene.
Well, even like meeting her, I was going in with the thought of like, oh, this is like kind of like a collab, right? Like I thought she was gonna, use you for content, this and that, right? And she offered like she could do my lips too. I'm like, oh, that's really nice of her. And I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna do a lot of content. That wasn't even her thing. And I even had to remind her, like, hey, did you do it before?
We always talk back and forth in the DM because she always says like, hey, if you ever want to do this and that, and never pushes it. Just I trying this thing, or she told me when she was going to school to do what she does now or stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, like I love to make. And you know how like it's so difficult to make it out of Orange County when you live in Orange County. Like it's hard to make it to the next city sometimes,
Yeah.
And it just never worked out. But it ended up just working out this time. We went down to Cali and got our teeth white, and Francine got her lips done. Yeah. But she was super nice. She forgot to even take a video, a photo. Like she was just like, into the moment.
Yeah. And
it was really cool to hear that.
Her of it.
It was really cool to be in the moment with her. But like obviously we gave her a tip. Because we're really grateful for that because no one's time is free. There's nothing free in life. All that stuff that she did was not free. It was free for us, but it was not free for her. Yeah. So we really want to shout her out. So what we'll do is we'll put her Instagram at the bottom. I wish that I was more organized and I had that cord I could show her Instagram, but it's not. So I'll put her Instagram at the bottom because that was very that honestly, I got to be honest before we go wrap it up with everything. I want to say that like I've been more confident in the last like 2 weeks than I've ever been making content
with your teeth.
Because look at that. You know what I mean? But no, that's So look at like, we'll end off with this, right? Using my own mistakes is something.
Mm-hmm.
Before I started to change myself and before I started to work on myself, I let myself go, right? I stopped loving the person in the mirror. So my hygiene and stuff like that started to go with this. So I would brush my teeth once every couple of days instead of every single day, 3 times a day, right? And then once I started letting that start go, I started not liking my teeth. I just stopped caring, right? I stopped caring about myself. But now, even though I care about my teeth, I care about my hygiene, I care about my health, I care about life, right? Now look at my past is haunting me again, right? Your past is always going to haunt you even when you start to work on yourself, right? But it's okay, right? I'm not upset at it because guess what? That was my old version of myself now dealing with, that was a new version of myself dealing with my old version of myself mistakes, right? We all make mistakes, but we got to correct them. Thank God for technology and people like her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how far you've gone, how much messed up your teeth is, how overweight you are, right? Start working on yourself today. Start freaking letting go of things that they shouldn't be affecting you anymore. You know what I mean? Start controlling what you not only put in your mouth, but what you put in your mental, right? At the end of the day, we need to stop trying to impress other people and start worrying about impressing ourselves, right? Get out there and love yourself. Get out there and take care of yourself. Get out there and inspire your own damn self and get out there and make the person that when you look back in the mirror, you're happy as hell to see. That's it. Mic drop.
Wait, I forgot. I needed to add something.
What happened?
When I said that the right eye started looking at me when I stopped trying to impress people, and I brought up the girl who did our my lips and your teeth. I had told her like, hey, like, she was like a really cool person. She had a good story, like, because we were, communicating back and forth. I'm like, if you're ever in Vegas, like, I would love to have you on the podcast. And the weekend we were there, she did a women in business seminar, and she's gonna have another one in April. And she was like, hey, she's like, would you be a guest speaker? And I'm like, what the heck?
I forgot. I thought we would say that for a whole podcast. Honestly, that's why I didn't even bring it up. I was gonna bring it up. I was like, and then I stopped.
We could talk about it more.
I think that
later,
that's big. Well, that's empowering for the women that are out there that want to do what you do and have a successful not business but relationship. Right? Like what you do is you wear a lot of hats. Well, good hats though, not the fake hats. Like
Fake
so,
designer.
yeah, but I'm excited. I'm going. It's all girl seminar. Identify as a lady. I'm going.
That day.
I'm not missing that. I can't. I'll be so proud. I might shed one little tear. But no, it's just what it is, and it's because of your hard work, right? And your dedication to yourself and developing into who you are today and want to become better. People notice that stuff. So shout out to you.
It got me emotional.
We'll have a whole part. You cry over everything, honestly.
I know.
I don't think there's only one time I cry.
I'm making little me proud.
That's right. Now you just got to get to little you.
Oh God.
Okay, with that being said, I'm sleeping in the doghouse tonight, but that was funny. Leave a comment if you laughed at that one. Leave a comment if you made it to that joke, because come on, that was ice.
Sleep on the couch with
I'm
him.
sleeping on the couch. That's okay. Hey, this couch is comfortable. Everyone, get out there, win. Thank you for listening to Modify Your Life podcast, where I'm your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modify. Don't forget to share the show, and we have my co-host, Modified Frankie, and we'll see you in the next one.
All this happened for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.